Start. So first of all, hey Luka, it's good to see you, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. You're in Slovenia right now?
Yeah, thanks for the invitation. Nice to see you. Nice to talk to you again after a while. And yes, I'm in Slovenia at the moment in all these quarantine times. I've been here now since tour of UAE, and luckily we were pretty much on freedom, I can say. We weren't on total lockdown,
Yes.
so the shape is still all right at the moment.
Very good, very good. So you're allowed to ride outside?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
there were some restrictions, like with municipalities and stuff. You had to ride inside. You were not like totally free, but at least we could ride outside all the time.
Okay, very good. Okay, this was a little different here in Dubai. We had some restrictions, and for 3 weeks we were on a lockdown, and still it's kind of restricted here. But yeah, it was more restricted than there. Yeah, I just want to maybe tell the people a bit about your career and acknowledge you for some amazing achievements you had. You overall 6 times you participated Giro and Vuelta. You won stages in Tour of Catalonia, Tour of Beijing, Tour of Poland, Tour of Slovenia. Interesting, I think, is you're national Slovenian champion at the same time for road, for cyclocross, and for mountain bike at the same time. And I think there's not many people I know who have ever achieved this, to wear the national jersey in all three disciplines. That was 2017, correct?
Yeah, exactly. It was a big year as far as the national championships concerned for me. And yeah, it was a pretty nice achievement, and also really nice memories about that.
So you started your career in mountain biking, and then you came to road bike?
Yes, I started my career cross-country riding, so mountain bike,
Yes.
2005. And then I switched to the road in 2010 because the circumstances about mountain bike in Slovenia weren't that great at the time. So I just decided that I can make living a little bit better by riding on the road and maybe competing there.
Very good. You won as well a very prestigious sprint, the final sprint of the Giro Italia in 2014, which was just an amazing sprint you did, because it was obviously everybody wants to win that final stage, and it was a super fast sprint, and I think you just made it to the finish obviously first. And do you remember these days at the Giro?
Yeah, surely. I mean, 2014 we started with Marcel Kittel as a team leader, as a team captain for sprints.
Yes.
And then he got sick very soon, very early in the Giro. I think was maybe stage 5. He didn't start anymore. So since stage 5, I was always on the line, on the list to sprint. And I remember that year I was in a really good shape already before. Like I won 3 stages in Catalonia. So I had high hopes, and also I was really motivated because I knew with a perfect sprint I can win a stage on the Grand Tour. And yeah, I remember I was pretty frustrated going to the end of the Giro because I still didn't manage to get a win, even though I had some nice results, a few third places. And then the final stage, we all knew it's going to be a sprint, and the stage itself was in Trieste, which is just a few kilometers from Italian-Slovenian border.
Okay.
And that meant the pressure was really high. And yeah, I remember a lot of Slovenian friends came that day to cheer for me. And once I crossed the line with the hands up, I was really stress was relieved at that
Yes.
time. So
Yes.
I felt really great, and the memories are great.
How is it to ride a 3-week stage race? So how much is the fatigue in, and that you really feel you get the energy after 20 stages, and you put everything together to have such an amazing sprint? Because that was a hard stage. I looked at the finish, and I looked at these last couple of kilometers. That was just unbelievable hard how you race there and then come first. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it wasn't really normal stage for the last stage of the Grand Tour, because I remember there was a breakaway of 2 guys, really fast guys, who are now my teammates, or were my teammates. That was Luke Durbridge and Swain Taft. So big time trial riders. and that stage was really fast all the way, and it wasn't easy. Also, after 3 weeks, the legs are tired, and it's a bit different than if there's a one-day race, for example.
Yes. You hold another, I think, just an amazing record. Is you're the fastest ever recorded sprint with 82 kilometers per hour at Tour of Poland. This is unbelievable. 82 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, I mean, that was last year in Tour of Poland. It's always the same stage, the same finish with that, like last kilometer is a bit downhill, maybe 4 or 5%. And we all know that it's really fast. So you also have to put on the big chain rings, not 53 or 54 as usual.
Yes.
So yeah, it's all about having a good timing in finishes like that. Because, you know, once you hit the wind, it's not good to be there for too long time.
I never did hit wind at 82 kilometers an hour, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, but no, it's amazing.
You should try, like, go behind the car and then try to sprint.
Yes, very good. Now you're over 10 years a professional in the Peloton. So does this give you any privileges? Is there anything special when you have to have a pee break? Everybody has to stop, or how is it when you have such a long career?
No, I mean, you have to wear a yellow jersey or a pink jersey, then everybody else stops when you stop for a pee.
Okay.
That doesn't come with years of professional riding. But yeah, what you get with these years is experiences. And we all know that cycling is a sport of experiences.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I can get through the heavy stage or get a good results just by having some experiences to know when and where I have to be at the exact moment.
Okay, very good. That's good. You've been visiting Dubai for quite some time as well. You've been here since, I think, 2015 or 2016, first for racing, and then you really enjoyed it here. You spent some time in February 2016, and then we went out riding a couple of times, and you had a good preparation as well for the season, preparing in Al Qudra. So what was your good memories you have for Dubai?
Yeah, I mean, I spent quite some time there in Dubai a few times a year because I just try to avoid it in summer because it's just too hot. But yeah, in 2016, I've been there actually just before the season started. And I was training mainly on Al Qudra or Nadal Shiva. Yes. And I can say that first time I met, or how you say, get in touch with this kind of cycling path that is just built for cycling. Yes. And that's just amazing. Like, have the road that wide just for you and for your friends on the bike as well. No cars around, no hazards. So it's great. It's great.
Yes. No, I think we're blessed here in Dubai with these facilities, and I think it's just amazing. And sometimes you forget, and when you go back to Europe and you see you're on the road, you have to share the road with cars, and then you come back to Dubai. I think it's something very special what we have here. Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I return to Europe, sometimes it's just, I feel a bit endangered just being alone on the road because the roads are much narrower here and also much more twisty. You can't see ahead. And also it's the same for the cars. They come sometimes behind you with too big speed or try to overtake you with the car going opposite. So yeah, it's just a little bit more dangerous here than in UAE.
Yes. You've been with Orica, Green Edge, Mitchelton, Scott now for a couple of years, and it's kind of a team with Australian backgrounds, and you have that amazing show, Backstage Pass. It really looks from the outside, it really looks like a fun team. How do you feel? How do you feel about the team?
Yeah, this is my 5th year in this team, and I really feel every year more happy and more, how you say, more comfortable, more friendly with everyone. And as I remember, I had a couple of options going into 2016 season to join other teams. And like on my wish list, Green Edge was on the top of the list. So I was also watching these backstage passes and stuff. Okay. And I just wanted to be a part of it because I saw there's a hard work and dedication, but at the same time, they know how to have good time, how to enjoy life, how to party. And yeah, this is just the team that really suits me. And also here, I think I performed on my toppest level.
Okay, very nice. If you're riding with the twins, Yates twins, can you tell them apart on the bike? How do you know who is who, or you get mixed up sometimes?
No, well, let's say first training camp, I had some big issues. I didn't want to call them by names. I was just Yatesy.
Yeah,
Then
it works for both.
if the right guy turned, that's good. If it wasn't the right guy, then I said, no, the second one. But now, yeah, when 50 years with them, I know which one's which, because you see the differences. Like, but the biggest difference is in the shoes. I always look in the shoes once they are on the bike.
Good.
Yeah.
You have a ladies team as well in Mitchelton Scots, and I know this year you had as well shared training camps. I think Annemiek van Vliet was riding with you. I saw some videos on Scott's homepage. How was this training with the ladies? How you were afraid that you get dropped and they were still in the group?
I mean, it wasn't that we had really ladies joining us. It was just one lady, that's Annemiek. Yeah. And it was actually second time, I think, that she joined our A to B training camp, which is like, I think, the most famous training camp of any team in pro peloton, because we ride really big hours, long distances, many altitude meters each training. And yeah, it's really demanding. Like, sometimes I feel in December that I'm training myself just to get still alive over that training camp. Yeah. And to have Annemiek there, first of all, I was thinking, yeah, she will do her own training plan, you know, maybe a couple of hours with us, and then she stops, go back in the car and stuff like this. But it was the way around. Like, often I stopped, went in the car, or just make a shortcut to the hotel, and she did everything what was on the menu for that day. And yeah, she's just amazing how much and how hard she works.
Very good. Yeah, I've seen this documentation, so I think it's really worth watching to see how she works and how she won the World Championship title. Quite an impressive career she has. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think your teammates say about you when they speak about you? How they describe you?
I don't know. Like, I mean, everybody knows I'm like quite funny or easygoing guy. So always there when we have some fun. I'm serious when there's hard work or preparing for something. But as soon as these serious moments are over, I'm back to my relaxed mode.
Very good. And who's your roommate when you go for the big tours and you normally share a room with one of your team colleagues? Who is that?
Mostly it's Michael Hepburn.
Okay.
Me and him goes along really well. And if he's not there, then also Sam Bewley or some other guys, but like mostly with Happy. Yeah.
Very good. And you're now 10 years in the peloton. If you think back now, what advice would you give Luka 10 years ago? What would you give yourself as an advice to say what you've learned and what you wish you would have known 10 years ago?
Yeah, well, it's 8 years in pro peloton to be exact, like since 2013. Before I was 3 years just on the continental team, Slovenian small continental team, which we don't count as a professional because you still or work next to the cycling or you're a student or something like that. My advice to me 8 years ago would be just to go slow. Don't try to, how you say, overtake. Just go slow and enjoy every moment, enjoy every race, even though it's raining, because time in cycling passed really fast. In like 2013 was like yesterday, and now I know when you are old, when they start to call you experienced rider. So I've heard that thing for quite some times now. Even in meetings, yeah, we can ask experienced rider Luka Mezgec what's he gonna say about this final. And yeah, you know, you're old then, but I'm still 32 years old, and I think I have at least 5 years, good 5 years in me to be on the level I'm now.
Very good, fantastic. Yeah, we're looking forward to see you more. Are you together with your family in Slovenia? Are you living close to your mom and dad, or are you in a different part of Slovenia?
Yeah, at the moment with this quarantine time, I'm with my family. Actually, not living with parents because they are also quite older, and now in this time it was a bit unpractical to be around older
Yes.
people, let's say, because I still wasn't really on my own. I still was there, I don't know, riding with someone or something like that, so I didn't want to put them in risk. But yeah, I live like at the moment 20 k's away, and we see each other a couple of times a week now.
Very good. And if you come home after a long race, what is your mama cooking for you? If you said, hey, Luka, what should I prepare? What's your favorite?
I prefer the best food on the spoon. We say on the spoon, like food on the spoon. It's like soups, or it's called goulash. Goulash, I don't know what's the English word. With polenta, for example.
Okay.
That's the food I like the most, because like living in the hotels majority of the year, you get sick of the hotel food, even though now last years we have always a chef with us. Yes. So that makes life on the road much easier, and also much more healthy.
Yes. I see in the background you have a tax indoor trainer to do some training. So you spend a lot of time now, or because you can go out, you're not using it as much?
Well, yeah, I use it still more than I would use it in normal circumstances. Because now with the Zwift and all the group rides we had, I actually want to be part of it, and I just jump on the Zwift, go with them. Also with the team, because they were in a total lockdown, especially guys living in Spain or Andorra. We were riding maybe 2 or 3 times a week with them for an hour. So that's also like just the group bonding that you don't forget each other.
You said you have a phone call with them every Monday?
Yeah, we have like a Zoom conference call. It's like we don't speak about cycling too much, but more just about regular stuff.
Very good. Do you do any e-sports on the bike? Do you think you think this is going to be something which will come in the future, that we will have these races? And did you participate in some of the Zwift races?
Honestly, I hope that won't happen. Because even on the races now we do on Zwift or any other platform, it's just, for me personally, it's too hard. I don't know. The slipstream doesn't work like on the real road. And as a sprinter, I know how to use my advantages in that way. So to use others to bring me in the final, and this virtual stuff, I think there's not much drafting, to be honest.
Do you watch, when you're in the indoor trainer, do you watch the Zwift game, or you watch a video, or you listen to music? Actually,
I have more screens. So on one, I have Zwift, just to know what's going on, and I see people and also the gradient and stuff. And then I always watch some television or some series and stuff, sometimes just YouTube videos of old races. This is something that really motivates me to push a little bit harder, and just to forget that I'm still inside sweating and still be on the same spot.
Yes. Very cool. What's the series you're watching at the moment?
The Last Dance from Michael Jordan. I think everybody knows it.
Yes.
On Netflix now. It's I think episode 5 and 6 just came out yesterday, so I have 2 more to see.
Some more time to spend on the trainer.
Very good. Yeah.
Very good. And take us back a little bit how this all started. Who introduced you to cycling, and what are the first memories and first inspiration you had as a cyclist?
It's actually a funny story about me coming into cycling, because I have one of my best friends used to be a continental rider. I think we were around 15 years old. And once I said, okay, I go with you on a training ride. So we were riding together, and then we hit the climb, and he just went off. And I was like, phew, this is quite hard. But I took my time. I went easy, like enjoying the views and stuff. And then once I came to the top, maybe 15 minutes later, I asked him, what's all the joy behind this, that you go full gas on this climb? And I went easy. I was enjoying myself. I saw the nature, and now we are on the same spot. So I was like, why would you go full gas? Why would you suffer? So it's like, I don't like this sport. That was maybe age of 14 or 15.
Okay.
And I went home, and then was maybe 2 years later when they stole my bike. I had like in front of the house, I had parked my bike, was just like a average bike, and they stole it. Somebody stole it. So at that time I had a birthday just a few months after, and I really wanted to have a nice bike. So I got quite a lot of money for that, just a birthday, and I spent all the money for a new bike. And I was always hanging around in the neighborhood with the older boys, older guys, older friends, like 4 or 5 years older. And this is the age when you are like, you know, the puberty and stuff.
Yes.
And everybody were picking on me. Why would you spend so much money on the bike that you don't use it so much? And I was like, I don't know. I will start to ride my bike. And then just to prove them that I deserve that bike, I start to ride every day a little bit more. And really sooner or later, I became a little bit better on the climbs. I went faster, like I could do more kilometers. And then they invite me actually on one race with also some guys who were already competing on the mountain bike. I'm saying I wasn't trying the road bike since until my age of 19 or maybe something like that, was just on the mountain bike. And then I won that race, my first race. And that really sucked me up into the cycling story.
Very nice. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So the first race and you won immediately.
Yeah, it was just like an uphill race, 25 minutes. Like here in Slovenia, we have a lot of uphill competitions. You know, you start on the bottom, finish on the top.
Yes.
It's quite weird when I ask or when we talk to my teammates, nobody knows about just uphill competitions. Mm-hmm. But here are quite big. And I used to train just uphill, just climbs. I didn't like flat. I just went on the climbs always.
And did you have any cyclist in mind when you were racing? Did you have any hero of maybe from international racing you remembered?
Well, when I started a little bit serious with my riding, I also get the Lance Armstrong book. Yes. And I was reading that book, and it was really interesting. Like I always had goosebumps, how good he was and stuff like this. And then that motivated me, and I started watching cycling races on the Eurosport. And then, surely Lance Armstrong was the guy who I was always cheering for. And like he was my childhood hero or a cycling hero from the beginning.
Yes, very good. No, I can as well remember the battle between Jan Ullrich and Lance. That was a big thing for me as well.
As a German, I can imagine it was painful.
Yes, it was painful. Yes. Actually, I had some local friends here, and he was a big supporter of Lance. And when Jan Ullrich was doing the time trial, and I think Lance overtook him on the first day, he called me, and he was so happy. And he was so what's going to happen?
If you look back at that era, I think it was like really interesting just to watch those kind of battles.
Yes,
it was amazing.
Yes, no, for sure. I think it takes always somebody to motivate you. Who do you think is your mentor? What is is it Lance Armstrong? Is there any coach you were working with who really inspired you in your career?
Yeah, quite soon was 2005. At the mid of the year 2005, I say, okay, I try to start with serious competing on the mountain bike. So by serious, I mean go to the national championships and stuff. And then I said, I need a team for that. So I found a team. My friend who was in that team introduced me to that team. And there was one coach who was like a Yugoslavian legend for cycling. He was multiple national champion of Yugoslavia. I think 3 times participant of Olympics and stuff like this. So I Googled him, and he was like impressive, quite much older than I am, and we start to how you say, to collaborate.
Yes.
And yeah, he started to coach me. That was 2005, and to this day he's still my coach. So it's
Fantastic.
already quite some years we know each other. And sometimes at the beginning of my sport path, when he was like explaining me something about training,
Yes.
I was like, oh, I don't know what's he talking about, because I was, 18 years old, first year into, let's say, professional sports. And but then going with the years of training, I slowly understand everything what he meant by saying some kind of training and stuff. And yeah, I'm really happy that he's still with me, he's still around me, he still guide me. So yeah, it's good to have one guy through whole career, because he knows you from the beginning, from the get-go. So I think that's good.
Do you get some guidance from the team right now? Now you're training by yourself and we don't really know what the season will come. So they give you some training plan, or they know, hey, Luka, you're a professional, you're going to take care of yourself? Or how much influence does the team have on your training?
Well, we have quite a lot of coaches in our team. And I also have assigned one coach to me who is like watching how I progress, what am I doing and stuff like this. And sometimes he also give me the plans, and we discuss what my idea for the next couple of weeks is going to be. And then he tells his idea. So I like this team and this coach just because of that, because he respects my idea and my view on how to approach things. And I also respect his idea, because obviously he was studying all these things and he knows much more than I do. And I just put this into practice. And yeah, maybe it's not like back in the days when I got a plan, let's say 10 times 4 minutes, this heart rate, this watts, but more basic, more general. Okay, let's do fast training, let's do sprints, let's do endurance training. And then myself decide on what kind of efforts I'm going to do that day.
Do you feel it has changed over the years, how you train and what you train, because you're getting older, or just technology and knowledge has changed? Or how is this happening?
Both. I mean, both. As a human being, you progress. You are not the same as you were 5 years ago. You cannot do the same efforts as you did 5 years ago. Or if you do, I think the benefit of those efforts won't be the same, because the body is used to it. And I think the body is like a smart machine, you always have to do or try different things to reach better adaptation on the training. And if you do always the same, you just won't progress as fast as you were on the beginning.
Okay, that's interesting. Speaking about bikes, I see a nice Scott bike in the background. Obviously, we're very happy that you're on Scott. How many bikes? You have a mountain bike, cyclocross, road bike. You have the new Addict?
Yeah, I have the new Addict, which I'm riding on the road. You can see foil on the turbo trainer. And then I have a Spark mountain bike. I have e-bike, e-Genius, which I use it a lot on rest days. I really like still do downhills and stuff. And on a rest day, like you cannot do 1,000 altitude meters to have a nice downhill part, That's why I use the e-bike. So then I have a cyclocross bike, which I use in the winter mostly, and the time trial bike. So a big variety and many options, especially this time of the year when we don't know exactly when the racing still again starts. So now my focus is just to stay in general shape, to not gain weight, and just to have good time on the bike. So I choose a lot of different bikes daily. So sometimes I start with my mountain bike, next day I go on cyclocross. Sometimes I do 2 bikes in one day. Just depends, just to have some hours on the bike.
I was very impressed. I have as well now a new Addict. I was riding the foil before, and I was very impressed with all the cable being hidden, the new handlebar shape, the 28 millimeter tires, which I'm able to ride. You're running 28 millimeter tires. How do you feel about the new Addict?
Yeah, I just maybe 3 weeks ago, I put 28s on because lately I do a lot of gravel or I search new roads.
Yeah.
I try to do shortcuts, and 28s is much better for that. And I like it a lot. I mean, there's a lot more benefits than how I say cons.
Disadvantages. Yes. Yes.
Disadvantages. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I
Uh,
feel as well.
so yeah, I like
Running
it.
tubeless or
No,
you?
just normal tubes. Yeah,
Okay.
for training, and then
Okay.
tubulars for races.
Okay. I put 28 millimeter tubeless tires on mine, and I really went low with the pressure up to 60
Yeah,
psi, 60, 65. It's fantastic. I'm really,
yeah,
really happy. So it's just a completely different ride feel, more comfortable. I feel as well very fast. I was surprised how fast you can go, especially if the roads are rough. So that's
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Do you know the pressure? What do you normally put in as tire pressure?
Well, I ride 7.5 bar. I don't know
Okay.
what's this in PSI,
Yes.
but yeah, around 7.5 to 8.
Okay.
Like sometimes I have 7.5 on the front and 8 in the back for
Yes.
racing, and sometimes if we know it's new roads and everything, it's 8, but
Okay.
never more than 8.
Yes.
Never more. And then for the cobbles, for classics, we go as low as 4.5.
Yes.
So that's for a 28 or a 30 millimeter tire is quite low.
Very good. Yeah, good. Very good. Fantastic. What would you consider is the biggest achievement so far in your career?
Probably just wins in general,
Yeah.
World Tour wins, which are the most satisfying. And yeah, from World Tour wins, definitely Giro
Giro
d'Italia
Italia.
stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there a race you really wish you will win one day? Is there something on your bucket list you wanna achieve?
Well, yeah, there's many races I want to win, but like Sanremo is one of the races I really
Yes.
try to work for it, like specifically for that race. When in general you train and getting ready for a period of racing, but like for Sanremo, I always want to be in top shape.
Very good. Yeah, that's unbelievable. I think everybody is really looking forward over the whole winter, and then that's really when it starts, and
Yeah,
it's an
yeah, yeah.
unbelievable event. Yeah, it's one of my
Also
favorite
because
races.
because I don't like long climbs,
Yes.
and we all know that climbs in Sanremo are not so long. So
Yes.
I like to train up to 10, 15 minutes of climbing. That's my limit. And yeah, that's also something that it's easier to motivate myself than to
Yes.
suffer 15 minutes. Then
You
if I
can.
know Sanremo doesn't have such a long climb or such a short climb, so it's harder to get really good workload on that.
Yes. Do you have a ritual before a race? How you prepare, and is it? Do you feel you change your personality when you put your helmet on? That there's Luka Mezgec, the normal person, and then Luka, the racer, and you really change in your mentality?
Not really when I clip my helmet on. I think the personality change happens in the last kilometer or maybe 2 kilometers of the race, because still with 5K to go, I'm still kind, let's say kind in the bunch.
Yes.
Like I break, let other guys in.
Yes.
I don't elbow. I'm like, really, really kind. But then once I see 2K to go, I say, okay, I don't have any more friends in this peloton except the guy who I work for or my
Yes.
teammates. And then, yeah, I really go full biscuit.
Mhm. Yeah, I see. Sometimes you see obviously the pictures of a peloton, and if there's so many people and everybody wants to get to that finish line. And I saw some of them. I saw actually a lot of the sprints. I felt like you were almost so fast that you could avoid the bunch, and you were going your own way. You found your own way, and you were just pushing a faster gear than anyone else, and you just were almost on the other side, sometimes left, sometimes right of the sides of the street, and you did your own sprint, and it was just amazing to see how you just went, and the others almost didn't see you coming from the side. So that was quite amazing.
Yeah, well, like if you're a sprinter and if you have a great spot, sometimes, with all the drafting, you don't do much in the last kilometer. Like if
Yes.
you find yourself in the bubble, that's the perfect spot. but that's really risky because a lot of time that bubble doesn't get the way out free.
Yes.
So a lot of times you have to brake. Sometimes you crash. Sometimes you cannot get on the free line before you have to. So, you know, maybe that gap opens too late, and once you start accelerating, you're already in the finish line. And yeah, that bubble is pretty risky. And like my teammates know me to be a bubble man, because I always want to be in the bubble because there's the easiest. But
Yes.
as I'm saying, there's also the biggest danger to crash and to not do anything. But if you know what's coming, if you know the road, if you know where's the corner and stuff like this, then you can reduce a lot of this risk and increase the percentage of success with all the experiences. And yeah, now these days, if you have a lead out train and stuff, and if you're a lead out man like I am a lot of races, then you are the guy who has to have the commandos and to say, okay, in this corner, you have to be, you don't have to be, you shouldn't be in the bubble, you have to be in one line because of this reason and that reason. And so it's sprinting these days is more mentally or tactically than with power. Like we know last couple of years, there's many sprinters that are winning constantly. It's not just one guy you pick, oh, he's 90%, he's going to win. It's always on every start line, there's at least 4 or 5 guys who are 50-50 to win. And then the team comes who makes a change, you know, who makes a difference in the final.
Yes, that's true. A good lead out train and a good lead out man is really worth a lot. Yeah, that's true. Are you superstitious? Do you have anything you do before a race, that you have a certain thing, or you have maybe some necklace or anything you wear, or anything you don't like? If it happens in the morning, you know, okay, that's not going to be, if I step out of bed with my left foot or whatever. Is there anything like this?
Actually, superstitious I cannot say, but cycling on its own is very ritual sport. You know, you have a ritual every day the same, every day similar breakfast, every day similar wake up time, every day similar start time, every day similar drive to the start with the bus. Always around 1 hour before the start, you park the bus, and then it's always pretty much the same scenario before the start line. And you get used to it. And yeah, it's just, I don't think you have time then to have even more superstitions to do. Even though I believe some guys have, I don't have like the happy socks or lucky socks, or how to say, I don't have this.
Okay, very good. Is there one person in the team who is kind of your critic, but at the same time somebody his opinion is very important to you, somebody who can really motivate you? Who is that person for you?
I can say exactly, because I always take a critic as a good critic, you know.
Yes.
Like I wanna improve myself by that critic. So I always listen what people has to say about my riding or about my mistakes or the things I've done good. And then for the things I can improve, I analyze it. I watch the videos, what I have done. I like, especially if I do a mistake, I'm really hard to myself, you know. I'm like disappointed to myself that I made a mistake, and then I try to go so deep that I don't do it twice, that I don't redo the mistake next day or the same year and stuff like this. And as a lead out man, I feel more pressure to not make a mistake than as a sprinter.
Yes.
Because as a sprinter, anything can happen, and if you have a lead out man, you just follow, and then if he doesn't bring you, it's not your fault, you know. If you have a good lead out man and if you trust the guy, he has to bring you. But as a sprinter, without the good lead out guy, it's always like, oh yeah, I try to be there, but I had to break. And it's a lot different than, like, as a lead out guy, you cannot mess up because you are the guy who has to go on the wind. You have to bring him. And as a sprinter, you cannot go on the wind because then you cannot win. And then you have to go inside the bunch to find the spot if you're on your own. And then sometimes, yeah, you just have to take too much wind and
yes,
you don't have the legs for the final.
who do you consider the best lead out man in the peloton, besides you, obviously?
I learned a lot from Tom Willers.
Yeah.
In my early years, in my first 3 years in professional peloton, I learned a lot from Willers, yeah, because especially that team was really about analyzing, about preparing the sprint, about debriefs, about planning. So that's 3 years I learned a lot, which I try to bring in now in Mitchelton, Scott. And yeah, we work really good together, and also our debriefs are improved a lot since 5 years ago, let's say. But yeah, at the moment, like in the team, we don't have a pure sprinter, so it's kind of just same level. We cannot improve. We don't do a lot on the sprints also because we turn much more on the GC team.
Yes.
But that's also good because I think if you always do the same, then especially as a team, then you get bored, or some people get bored. So it's always have to change, have to develop. And yeah, in that sense, that's great.
Very good, fantastic. Do you have a special skill outside of cycling, or you have a kind of, we call it a party trick, something you can, you would use to impress somebody on an evening?
Well, I can't say, but like sometimes if I'm in a really good mood, I can dance a little bit. Like crazy dance. My only good friends knows it.
Okay, very good. We see you next time in Dubai. We're going to see some music and then we're going to see some dancing.
Yeah, doesn't happen often though.
Okay.
Yeah, but like outside of skills, I enjoy all the different sports, like not just cycling. Cycling is just, you know, I like it, but also it's more a job these days. But because of that, because of all the time on the bike, I really miss hiking. I miss playing basketball. I miss playing soccer and stuff like this. And off season, I really enjoy do other sports. This is the worst thing being a professional athlete in one sport, because you cannot do a soccer match with the friends 2 days before the race, you know. Totally different muscles, and it just doesn't go.
Are you collecting anything? Do you have anything you collect from different places, maybe fridge magnets or anything?
No. I collect memories. That's enough.
That's very nice. If you would have the chance from a famous person, you could be in his life for one day, who would that be?
Well, now watching Michael Jordan series, I would be Michael Jordan for a day of his last season, let's say, playing the NBA when they won a championship. Like in general, I like basketball. I like watching NBA, and also Slovenian guy Luka Doncic is like on the top of the shape at the moment in NBA, a rising star, or I can say already established star in his second season there. So I like to follow this sport a lot.
Very good. And if you had a time machine and you could go either forward in time to see what's happening in your future, or you could go back to change something, which way would you go?
I would go back, but not to change something, but just to do it again.
Okay, very good. That's
so
nice.
To relive last couple of years again, especially since I turned pro. I think a lot of things happened really quickly. Like before cycling life, I entered cycling relatively late. Especially I turned pro, I think at the age of 24, which is really late for a rider. And before that, I didn't travel. I was always like just in Slovenia, Croatia, just the neighborhood country. And then just the world, you know, became so small. Like I remember travel to my first training camp with the team in Spain. That was like different world going to Spain. Now going to Spain, going to UAE, going to Hong Kong is like 10-hour flight. I'm there. It's like the world became so small, and I like to go all over again, you know.
Okay.
From the big world to a small world in the head.
And what's your favorite place? If you could choose to live somewhere, you would go back to Slovenia, or where would you choose? What's a nice place?
Oh, there's a couple of nice places. Like I really enjoyed Lake Tahoe in California.
Yes.
There was we spent 2 weeks there for training camp 2018.
Yes.
And I really like nature. So that was one of the best places I've experienced. And also Colorado was nice, around Boulder. Yeah, these were probably 2 top spots to pick for living.
Very good. I have a few sentences prepared, and I will start a sentence, and you will just
Okay.
finish the sentence. Okay. A perfect day.
Do I have time to think, or
Yes, just whatever comes to your mind, whatever comes. You're a sprinter. Come on, you have to make quick decisions. Yeah. Okay. A perfect day is
sunny day.
Good. I'm looking forward to
start racing again.
I can ride my bike faster than
my girlfriend.
Okay. I wish I had.
That's a hard one, because I wanted to say more time, but now I have more time in these quarantine days. So I wish I would have wings.
Wings to fly.
Yeah,
good.
Just to fly around.
I really love when.
I really
love when.
Love.
No, I love if what happens. If something happens, you really love the situation. So I love when I win a race. Or is something you really love?
Yeah, to win a race. That's a good one.
And I get really annoyed when.
When I have to clean my house.
Okay, that's good. Then you have to go now. That's good. Who is the greatest cyclist of all time for you?
I think still Lance Armstrong.
Okay. Yeah. Have you raced with him?
No.
No. So he was.
So I turned 2013, and I think he stopped 2011 or so.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
And you have met him, or never
no,
again?
Never. Just his picture on the races, winning Tour de France and stuff.
Yes.
That's it.
Very good. Who is the biggest sprinter of all times?
Probably Cipollini.
Cipollini.
I would say him, yeah.
He was a special, or he is a special. He was a couple of times in Dubai, yeah. He's a big man, and he's full of. He doesn't look like a sprinter.
I met him on Giro d'Italia once.
Yeah.
And now he's even bigger.
Yeah.
But like maybe as achievement wise, Cavendish is probably better. But like just the icon, I think Cipollini was on the top. Like he put this sport on another level in terms of cycling heroes in Italy, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. Who do you think is the biggest upcoming talent?
Well, Matt Van der Poel is for sure the guy who will win a lot in the near future. Well, he's already winning pretty much everything, but I think he's got a really bright future. Everything he will choose to do.
Yes, and now with Quickstep, I think obviously a perfect team and a really, really good support, and a lot of people with a lot of knowledge to help him and support him. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Very good. If there would be something you could change in today's cycling about UCI, about racing, anything, what would this be? What would you change?
I would do shorter stages.
Mm-hmm.
Like shorter stages are always more intense, more dynamic. Sometimes it's more suffering as well, because you know, shorter time means better intensity.
Yes.
But also like from a viewer, from the guy watching the Eurosport, if you have 220k long stage and it's flat day, it's not much going on there. And
yes, true. Some other questions I have, it's for socks. You wear long or short socks?
Medium. Not the longest one, not the short one, but something in between.
And when you go riding, you wear gloves or no?
No, never. Except on the mountain bike. There I always put the long gloves, even in summer, but you know, there's a summer long glove for mountain biking. So, but like a regular gloves for road cycling, never on training, always on the races.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Always. Sometimes in a grand tour, when you already have the how you say, the 10 spots, you know, the 10 lines, sometimes I start without them, and then when we approach the finish line, I put them on just in case.
Yes.
You never know when the crash is waiting for you.
Yes, because I can imagine, yeah, when you crash and you fall in your hands, that's going to be very difficult.
It's really messy, yeah. Like,
yes.
It's a small injury, but
yes.
It's annoying painful. Because it's always moving and it doesn't heal.
Do you have a tattoo on your body?
No.
Not yet or never?
No tats. Never say never, but
no.
At the moment I don't have any desire.
Yes. And racing, when you race with a power meter or you race simply by feeling?
Well, I don't watch the power meter except on the climbs. When I know it's too fast, I just slow down, because sometimes I just know, start the climb in front, you know the time of the climb, and then I know my limits, like how much I can do on that climb for a certain period of time. And then I try to adjust my power output, because if I start with 700 on a 5-minute climb,
yes,
I won't last for long. So yeah, it's a helpful gadget for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But in a sprint, you don't have time.
No, never. It's happening too fast, and as soon as you look on your Garmin for 2 seconds, you can hit someone from the front, and sometimes crashes happens because of that, I believe.
What are some good numbers when you're happy about the sprint? Is okay, that was a good number and top wattage output?
Well, the thing with this is, if you win and if you have a bad number, you say, oh, that was easy. Like I don't even put so much watts to win.
Yes.
And then when you lose and you have a good number, you say, oh, I was on a shit spot. I had a bad position. Yes. And then when you lose and you have a shit number, and you feel in the legs as well that you just didn't have the legs, then it's like worrying, you know, because then you have the feedback that shit feeling in the legs was the fact, not just the mental aspect. Yeah. So you have the proof that you were really shit that day. So, that's then time to work, or time to analyze what am I doing wrong.
If you would write a book about your career today, what would be the title of the book?
Well, that's a hard one. From mountain biker to a road racer specialist. I don't know.
Quite a few. We talked about this. There's quite a few people who have done this. Yeah, we have done the transition from mountain biking, which is really, really hard. Kate Evans, Peter Sagan, Rasmussen. Yeah. So there have been quite Fuglsang we spoke about. So I think it's not unusual that people start on the mountain bike and get really the toughness from mountain biking. And especially cyclocross seems to be something super hard for 1 hour going flat out, especially for a sprinter. That's a good preparation. So
yeah, I mean, a lot, and the guys you just mentioned are just the big guys in road, you know, who succeed as well. So they were successful on mountain bike, and now they are successful on the road. But there's many more guys that they weren't so successful on mountain bike, and they switch on the road as well. And they are also like good domestics, which we don't talk much about their mountain bike days.
Yes.
So I think it's just, as a kid, it's a bit more fun to go in the forest, to try to ride single tracks, to enjoy the nature. Is also more safe as a 8-year-old kid to go on the road, on the streets, or to do something in the forest. So I think that's why a lot of guys start on the mountain bike. And then eventually some guys sooner, some guys later switch on the road. And yeah, also some guys stays on mountain bike. So yeah, I think it's just a natural process of sports being so connected.
Very nice. Do you have a quote you like quotes, and do you have a quote you live by, something which motivates you, which you feel is really nice?
Well, with my German friend, John Degenkolb, we used to listen a lot of these motivational speeches from Arnold Schwarzenegger and those guys when we were back in training days or just racing around the world. So we had a quote, you won't climb the ladder of success with your hands in the pockets. Yes. So that's a good quote, which also as a young rider gives you the lesson to work hard, and yes, with the hard work you will succeed. Like if you don't work for things you want, they won't happen. So
that would have been my last question, really. What is cycling taught you over the years, which you really feel is part of your life? So hard work, is it? Is there anything else you feel like cycling has taught you?
Well, I think cycling taught me maybe indirect many things. Maybe the biggest thing is to think outside the box, to meet a lot of interesting people, to see how the world operates outside of your born country, of your domestic country. Mm-hmm. Because yeah, Slovenia is like really small country, and if you have some connections outside, it's much easier to whether to start your business or to just get some, I don't know, advices, or to just think like things like that. And also just dedication, with sports in general, if you work today, the results won't show tomorrow. But if you work day in, day out, if you just check the boxes every day and to stream about that you will do, that you will get to, that you will succeed in some time, it will come, but it needs time. So I think it's with everything in the life is like that. Doesn't come overnight.
Very good. Hey, Luka, thank you so much. We took already so much of your time, but it was really, really nice. And I always enjoy doing the research. Obviously, we know us now for a couple of years, but again, it's really interesting to look into the career and have an hour to talk to someone to learn a bit more. And we're really looking forward to see some good lead outs and sprint wins of you hopefully soon for the rest of the season. And we hope everything stays well with you and you stay safe. And yeah, thank you so much for your time.
It was my pleasure. Nice to talk to you, to see you again, and to also get this hour passing a little bit quicker with just talking to you.
Thank you.
And thanks for all the nice wishes.
Thank you very much, Luka. Yeah,
we stay in touch. Yeah?
We're going to have next Friday, we have a talk with Andy Schleck. So he's Tour de France champion, and we're looking really forward to see him on the 8th of May.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Thank you. Good luck. Regards, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye-bye. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Stay safe. Stay home. Bye-bye.